From Atlanta, Georgia, welcome to Fearfully and Wonderfully Me, a podcast for women on leadership and life skills with Rhea Story. Rhea shares powerful life and leadership principles, helping you maximize your potential and become the woman God created you to be.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode, Leadership Gems for Women. Be passionate. I love to talk about passion because number one, I think many of us have lost sight of the fact that our life should be in alignment with our passion and our purpose. Because, being passionate about something, but when we're passionate about what we're doing, life is full of joy. When we're in alignment with what we're passionate about, then it's not work. It's not a burden to get up and do what we love to do. When we're in alignment with our purpose and our purpose-driven life, but we're passionate about what we're doing. I read a quote the other day, and I forget who said it, but it talked about some people get up to an alarm clock, and some people get up to a calling. And, when I think about that, most of the time, I wake up pretty early in the morning most of the time, and very seldom does my alarm clock even go off because most of the time I'm assuming I'm getting enough sleep. I'm waking up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning and just looking forward to the day with expectation, with joy of what the day holds, the potential and the possibilities. But I can remember some times throughout my career when I wasn't excited about what I was doing. And that alarm clock would go off, and you'd be like, oh, I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up. And or maybe you'd spend the weekend enjoying what you really want to do. And then Sunday night, you would start dreading Monday morning. And now here's the thing. If you're not in alignment with what your purpose is and you're not passionate about what you're doing, then start taking some steps to find that joy, to find that passion and that excitement. Because let me tell you, it's worth doing. It's a life worth living when you're passionate about what you're doing, because then you're not working to live, you're living to work. And that's a huge difference. Tim Redmond said that there are many things that will catch my eye, but there are only a few that catch my heart. And it's those that I consider to pursue. Very successful women who achieve great things in life have passion. You cannot achieve something extraordinary if you're not passionate about it, because passion is the spark that ignites your soul and fuels your energy long beyond the point where you would have otherwise quit. You think of all of the women who've achieved great things in life, they were passionate about what they were doing. Mother Teresa is an example I used, but she was so passionate about her cause and her purpose. And there were days when she didn't feel good, or when she was tired, or, she was living in poverty herself. And there were a lot of times she was in ill health and sick, and she would still go out and minister. And because she was passionate about it, it wasn't an excuse when you didn't feel good if you're passionate about doing something. Passion is what separates someone who's achieving greatness and excellence from someone who's just doing a job or going through the motions. Those who are truly passionate and living their purpose, they know that everything to them is of perhaps slightly lesser value when compared to what they're passionate about. So it makes it easy for them to say no. And that's been a key thing for me. I've shared with you before in some previous episodes. Saying no is one of the hardest things for me. It was one of the hardest lessons to learn, because I'm that type of person that I like to say yes. I like to take on new and exciting things and initiatives and projects, and I like to do all kinds of things. And I find a lot of things interesting. And so, everything is exciting. But what I've learned is that when I say no, then that gives me the space to say yes to what's really great and what I can really excel at. So sometimes that means saying no to the good things. in order to say yes to some great things. A recent example of that for me, and I think I've shared this with you before, is when I stopped teaching group fitness. Teaching group fitness for me was something I've been passionate about for many years, because really, it's not much different than what I do speaking from the stage. It's simply empowering people in a physical dimension instead of a mental dimension, if you will. And I love that. It's just a different way to empower people, and I'm passionate about empowering people, because I've lived these principles, and these principles are so powerful, and I'm living proof that anyone can take what they've been given in life, and they can find an abundant life. Life is meant to be lived, and lived abundantly. And I'm passionate about helping other people find that path, because I know for me, nobody gave me an instruction manual at some point. When you turn 18, no one gives you an instruction manual and say, here's how to live a life worth living. Here's how to live a life that you don't look back in 60 or 80 years and look back and say, gosh, I wish I had have done something different. But when you're living a life of passion, you don't have those regrets. You don't look back and say, I wish I had spent my life doing something different. Maybe I wish I'd taken a career path that I was excited about instead of one that paid pretty well. Because let me tell you, when you have that passion and that fuel and that joy in your life, it doesn't matter if you're making, hundreds of thousands of dollars, or um, if you have tons of material things, or if you're considered wealthy by the world standards. Because true wealth is having that abundance in your life. True wealth is the things that we can't buy, the intangibles. And passion is one of the big keys to having that in our life. So, but when I stopped teaching group fitness, and it's a good thing. It was incredibly rewarding to be able to empower people, and it was a good thing in my life. And I had done it for so long, and spent a lot of time honing my skills so that I was good at it. And I was passionate about it. I still am passionate about empowering people. But I realized that I could be more effective when I said no to teaching group fitness, because that allowed me more time and freedom and flexibility to do more work empowering people in the mental dimension. I could do more work on writing books and podcasts and things like that if I was willing to say no to the good in order to say yes to the great. And passion is what allows you to do that, because when you're simply passionate about it, then you say, this is more of a priority. And because I'm passionate about it, it's not really a sacrifice to say no to something. So 3 things about passion. Number 1, passion produces energy. When you are passionate, you will work much longer and harder than if you're not excited about what you're doing. That's why entrepreneurs don't mind working 7 days a week. I can tell you, Mac and I love what we do, and we do work 7 days a week. And most of the time, we work all day. Someone asked me recently, well, how many hours do you work when you're working? And I was like, I do what I do all day long. I don't consider it work, because it's just who I am, but I'm passionate about it. There's a quote by Confucius that says, if you love what you do, you will never work another day in your life. And that is so true. So number 1, that passion produces energy. Number 2, passion inspires others. When you're passionate about something, it's contagious. It's exciting. It attracts others to you. When people feel your passion for your vision, they'll get behind you, and they'll help you turn it into reality. And far too many people settle in life because they just settle for not having passion. And those who won't settle for average or routine or just comfortable have fire and enthusiasm in their day-to-day life. Nelson Mandela said, there is no passion to be found in playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. And last but not least, number 3, passion unleashes your potential. There's a quote that I love by Jean de La Fontaine that said, man is so made that when anything fires his soul, impossibilities vanish. And when you're passionate about what you're doing, you're far more likely to be successful, because you'll be far more determined. Roadblocks simply become detours. You don't let them stop you. You just figure out how to go around them or over them or under them. Or maybe sometimes you bust through them. But you have to be determined in order to navigate those roadblocks because things are going to get in the way. But passion enables you to do that. Passionate women, passionate people don't settle for average, easy, or routine or comfortable. When you're passionate about something, you will find that determination, that fire that says you'll get up and you'll work harder and more and far beyond when other people would quit. So I encourage you today, if you haven't identified what you are passionate about, start searching. Start searching now. Odds are you probably have some pretty good ideas of what you're passionate about. Your hobbies can be good clues, but just remember, a hobby is something that you do and you enjoy. Your purpose is something that you do and enjoy and are passionate about and you're good at. So make sure that you define the difference between those two. Until next time.
Start increasing your influence and maximizing your potential with Ria's audiobooks. Available at audible.com, amazon.com, and iBooks. Please visit riastory.com to learn about Ria's books, resources, speaking, and training programs. Thanks for listening.